What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today it is December 19th, and right now I'm taking my pig slot back to my pigs. We're getting ready to have a big cold snap here. It is going to get down to 2 degrees, or negative 2 degrees I should say, on Thursday night, and then the high for Friday is only 2 degrees and 40 mile an hour winds, so the reel feels like, I don't know, negative 30 or something ridiculous like that. So for us, that's pretty ridiculously cold weather and pretty unheard of for us. So I've got quite a few things I want to do these next couple days to get ready for this cold weather. One's going to be cleaning out the pig pen again, and the pigs are doing pretty good. They're getting big, but like I said, I want to get the pig pen cleaned out. I want to get a piece of tin put on the front of my pig pen hut, just the front of it up here, to keep some of the wind out and to keep some of the heat in. I want to get some hay and put in there. I need to get some hay and put in the barn for the cows. We're going to have to fill up the cows' water trough. Obviously, we'll have to get all the hoses drained and stuff, and then coming over here to the barn. This is something that's not as important, but I would like to try and see if I can get this garage door working again. You guys won't be able to see it, but up in there, it's off the pulley. So right now it won't really come down. You can see how that end's hanging down, and then you come all the way over here, and you can't even see that end. And that's because this cable's loose right here, and it's supposed to be tight. So I doubt we'll get to that, but that's something that we'll possibly do. And then coming over here into the barn where the tractor is, I'd like to get this hole closed off right here. And this used to be a little horse stall. Back whenever Mom and Dad first moved in, Dad kept his horse in here. Then he got rid of his horse, and it sat empty for a while. At one point we had actually let some cows in here. There used to be a gate that was running across right about there, and it just ran across the whole part of the barn. And just this little spot up here was the stall. And like I said, Dad had his horse in here, and then we used to let the cows in here some, but not very much because it would normally get pretty muddy. And then after that, this used to be the old pig pen. There used to be a fence that was going out there, and that's where I would keep my pigs. But now all that is done, and I don't see us ever letting animals back in here again. There's really just no point. We've got the barn on the other side of the barn that I was talking about for the cows, and then the pig pen obviously is good. And this hole right here just allows a lot of wind to blow through here, and if it snows, we'll get a lot of snow in here. I'd like to just get this closed off. That's another thing that I'm not sure if I'll be able to do. I've got about 2 days before this cold weather hits, and in all that weather, we're going to probably be getting some snow as well. So I don't know if we'll get to that, but we'll see. And to start out, right now I'm going to go work on the pig pen, getting it cleaned out. I guess I should probably say that right now it's only 37 degrees out here, so it's still kind of cold, and it's going to be getting colder every day. Obviously, it's getting down into the freezing temps every night this week, so I just got to make sure everything's battened down. But now we'll get the tractor fired up and get it out of the barn. We've never really had a problem with this tractor starting in the cold weather. We just hit the glow plugs a couple times, and normally it fires right up. Hopefully that doesn't jinx me right now, but it's always been pretty good for us. We've replaced the battery a couple years ago and haven't had any problems with the tractor since. Another thing I want to do is get the box plate on the back of here, just in case we do get more snow than they're talking, and so we won't have to get all that hooked up in the snow. Alrighty, well there we go. We'll have to let that warm up for quite a while. I always like the sound of those diesels whenever you start them up, whenever it's real cold outside. It almost sounds like they're going to blow up. I need to get that heater plugged in, but this all was mud a few days ago. It's been really wet for the past couple weeks. I've been keeping hay in the barn for the cows, obviously, but about every other day I got to get more in here, and it's definitely time. So everything's frozen now, so instead of mud, it's all frozen and lumpy and kind of hard to walk on, but I'd almost prefer that over the mud. Hopefully I don't overflow this. I'll just have to keep an eye on it. One thing I don't think I've really showed is well, that's not good. Well, obviously it looks like the plug got pulled out of the bathtub. That's what we use for our water troughs. Dad got these. I don't know. I don't even know where he got these, but obviously they came out of old houses. I'm not sure if he got these from his job or what, but we've got 2 up there on that end of the barn and then 2 down here, and the gutters from the barn run off, so whenever it rains it runs down here into the water trough, so that works pretty good. Obviously it works a lot better whenever the plug is in the tub, but I'm not really sure how that got out. I'm guessing that last night everything froze together, and whenever I put the water in, that ice floated up and it pulled the plug up out of there. I'm gonna let that drain out a little bit, then we'll have to get down in there and figure out what's going on, I guess. The tractor's been warming up for about 10 minutes now, so it should be ready to come out. Somehow I've already managed to lose the glove. Only been out here for about a half hour, so I guess I'm gonna have to look for that too. Alright, I got everything cleaned up. Looks a little bit better anyways. So, got about a half bucket here of manure, and I'm going to go dump it. This cow's working on getting out of this gate that I left unchained, so I need to make sure he doesn't get out. This guy right here is going to be going in about 3 weeks. This one, and then that bigger one that's laying down over there. And then we'll just be down to 2 cows. Those 2 smaller ones over there by the hay bale. But they're pretty good size. Especially this other one over here. I'll take you over here and show you. He's real big, so he's going to be a nice cow. Not quite sure what he's going to weigh. He'll probably be, I'd have to guess he'd be over 1,000 for sure. And then this one will probably be right at 1,000, I guess. This bale of hay should last them through this cold spell, so that's good. I'm going to get this manure dumped in here, and then we will come in here and get some hay and put in the barn for the cows, and get some for the pigs as well. Okay, I got the manure dumped and I got a pitchfork. I'm going to put a couple forks of hay into the bucket of the tractor and take it over and dump it in the barn just to make it easier. I'm going to take the hay off the outside of the bale. There's a couple inches that has gotten a little bit wet and it's not as good a hay, so that's what we're going to put in the barn. We'll end up eating some of it. Most of it will just get trampled into the ground. Alright, that looks much better. There might even be a little bit too much in there, but that's alright. I'll get more in here on Thursday evening before I head in the house, just to make sure everything is nice and clean in here for them. But another thing I want to do is get some of the chickens moved around. Before I do any of that, I've got to finish up with the hay. I got to get another bucket load here, and I'll get it put in the pig pen. You can see here this guy's already coming over to check it out, and he'll be eating on some of it for a little bit. Okay, there's quite a bit of hay back up in there. You guys probably can't really see it. I got it up in there pretty good. I don't really like doing it with the pitchfork, especially whenever they're all up in there like that, just because you can't really see what you're doing. I was able to get it up in there without poking any of them, so that's good. We'll probably end up eating most of this. It's kind of hard to keep pigs bedded unless you're putting a lot of hay in there at one time. So I'll probably put more in here before we get that really cold weather, just like the cows. I really probably ought to get some straw or something, and that would probably do a little bit better, but this will be good enough for now. Got the tractor put up, and I just finished mixing some feed. Figured you guys didn't really need to see that again, but I ground feed, I think 4 days ago, and I've already used about half a barrel, so they're eating a lot, getting big, so I guess that's good. Definitely expensive though, feeding them that much. That's just part of it, I guess. Luckily, I've only got about a month to a month and a half left. And like I said, they're getting pretty big, so that's good. Next thing I'm going to do is come over to this water trough, I guess, and figure out what's going on with it. You can see there, the cows are already laying down in that hay in the barn, so that's good. Well, I don't know if that plug ended up falling back in there or what. I saw Luke over here, so he might have put it back in there. That wouldn't surprise me. That sounds like something he would do. It's holding water right now, so I think I'm going to go get the hose and get it back on and fill it up. Alright, it's full, and it's not leaking, so that's good. I'm going to fill up the pigs in water now. I got the water for the pigs all filled up and got their heater plugged in, so they should be good. I also got the chickens' water filled up. Next thing I'm going to do is go take the chicks that are in the little chicken cage on the other side of the barn here, and I'm going to put them in here in the big chicken coop. I'm going to block it off, and they'll have their own little spot, so that's what I'm going to do next. Alright, I got them all moved over. There's 18 of them, so that's pretty good. I just gotta get their water in here now, and then these guys will be set. The reason I moved them is just because they're getting too big for that other cage, and it was time for them to get out of there. I'm thinking about selling them. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with them yet. Alright, it's the next day now, so December 20th, and I'm a little bit late coming out here to do chores. It's about 10 o'clock, so I was able to sleep in a little bit till about 7 o'clock, so that's nice. And then I had to edit a video for you guys that you've already seen probably, but normally I'm out here quite a bit earlier than this, and that's alright. I've obviously got a week off on school, so I'm able to sleep in a little bit, and that's nice. As you can see, the pigs ate all their food last night, so I gotta get more for them, 2 more buckets. Alright, that's better. I'm sure you probably noticed how the front of this feeder, the tin on there is pretty tore up. And that's something I'm going to be fixing once these pigs are gone. I had it sitting down lower on a couple smaller concrete blocks. It was almost overnight that they jumped up there and were able to get a hold of it and tear it up. So that's something that'll have to be fixed before I get another batch. Cows look pretty good. Normally I only try and keep one of these heaters plugged in overnight just because they pull quite a bit of power. Chickens all look pretty good. Looks like there's a couple hens that are on the nest. We'll get the eggs later. Most of the time we let our chickens free range, but if you've been with the channel for a while, you know that we replanted the grass in our front yard, and we didn't want the chickens to go out there and tear up all the grass seed and tear up all the straw, so we've been keeping them locked up for a while. We've got quite a few roosters now. If they don't sell soon, we'll probably end up just butchering the roosters, because we need to get rid of them, and there's not a whole lot of people that buys roosters. Looks like all the chicks made it through the night and look good. That's a good thing. That's pretty much it for the chores for the morning. During the winter it's pretty easy, so that's good. And now I'm gonna go get my tape measure and my drill and stuff so I can come out here and get the front of this hut closed off part partly. Alright guys, the way I'm going to do this is just take a board and run it from the top down to the bottom, and that'll give me something to screw to in the middle, and then I'm just going to slap a piece of tin on there. So pretty simple, just like I like to do things, and I'm not going to overcomplicate it. Alright, well, it's definitely not perfect. Should help keep some of the wind off of them, that's for sure. Okay, well, I got that piece up, and I can't decide if this post over here isn't straight or if it's this wall that is crooked. I really kind of think it's the wall, but obviously you can tell we've got a gap here on this post, and then you come down on the bottom, and the piece of plywood is almost to the middle of the post, so there's a pretty big difference there from the top to the bottom. It's probably a little bit of both, I would imagine. So this isn't going to be perfect, but it will be a lot better than what it was, and it'll keep most of the wind out. Alrighty, it's the next day again, Thursday, December 22nd, so it's about 9 o'clock. I had to get my video uploaded for today, and then I'm out here getting ready to do chores. I'm already kind of late and behind everything. It's already starting to snow. I don't know how well the camera's going to be able to pick it up. It's 35 degrees out here right now, and I looked at the weather, and by 6 o'clock tonight, it's going to be 6 degrees, and the real feel is going to be like -40 or something ridiculous like that. So it looks like we are going to get this pretty cold weather, and they're saying anywhere from, I don't know, a couple inches of snow to 6 inches. I'll believe it when I see it, but I've got to get started this morning. I'm going to get the hay in the barn, get some more hay in the barn for the cows and pigs, and then obviously just morning chores. I'm not going to show any of that. I'll come back to you guys whenever I get done with all that stuff. I guess I should show you guys this. Last night, I was able to get this garage door fixed, so I guess that's some of my stubbornness. I had to keep working on it, and after I was able to get it down, after I turned the camera off last night, I started looking at it some more, and I was able to see the springs on this side because of how low it was, so I was able to actually see the problem. But what I had to do is tie that end down and hold it down where it wouldn't go up, and then I had to lift up on this end, so it was pretty hard to do, and it took me quite a while, but I was able to get it fixed. So now I think what I'm probably going to do today is get the tractor out of this side of the barn over here and put it in this part. One, just to keep that completely out of the weather, and two, then I can put my truck in this part of the barn and keep it out of the weather as well. So that'll be good. And now I'm gonna go get the hay for the cows and put it in the barn. Well, as you guys can see, the tractor doesn't fit in there with the box blade and the bucket on. I thought that it did, but I guess I was wrong. So, obviously that was just kind of a waste of time. Oh well, it's getting pretty windy, and it's starting to snow a little bit harder, but I got hay put in the barn for the cows, and I got hay put in a pig shelter for the pigs, so they should be good for tonight anyways. And then I've got all this hay right here that I'm going to stick in the barn so that I can put some more in there tomorrow if I need to. But I think I'm going to top off all the waters for the animals right now, and then get the hoses drained, and then I should be pretty much done for everything I want to do. One thing that we do with our hoses after we get them all drained out is we take the ends and stick them in a fence. So you can see there I've got that end like that, and then I did the same thing with the other end down there, and that's just so that if it does snow a lot, it's easy to find the hoses. We know right where the two ends are, and we don't have to go looking for them. Obviously you want to keep the end pointing down so that no snow gets into the hoses. But I'm gonna head in the house. It's getting even colder out here. It's already down to 28 degrees, so it's dropped quite a bit already since the little time I've been out here. So I gotta head and warm up. I'm getting pretty cold, and it's starting to snow even more. So I'm glad that we're ready. I don't know when the next time I'm gonna film is, but I'm sure it'll be again soon. It's starting to come down more now. Got a little coat in here on the driveway. The wind keeps picking up, temperature keeps dropping. Dad wanted me to get the four-wheeler in the barn here, so I did. And then put my sister's car in here as well, because she's supposed to work on Friday morning, which is tomorrow, but I don't see that happening. But we put it in here just in case. So definitely looks like we're going to get quite a bit of snow. The wind is just terrible. But one thing that I did is take the chute from that I keep right in front of the gate and stick it right there, just to try and help block some of the wind. They've kind of pushed it out of the way, but I figured that'd be better than nothing, so I'm probably going to get back in there and readjust it here in a minute, but I figured that'll help a little bit anyways. Alright guys, it's the next morning, and it's cold. It's -5. It really feels like -40, so I'm not gonna lie, I've been a little nervous. I just woke up at 7 o'clock and came right outside, so didn't sleep the best, but that's alright. And the reason I'm talking in here is just because of how windy it is out there. You guys probably won't even be able to hear me, but I'm going out just to check on things. I'm not gonna stay out very long. We didn't end up getting very much snow. It's kind of hard to tell exactly how much we got just because of the wind and how much it's been blowing everywhere. At least an inch, I'd say. Alright, well they all look good, that's good. Well, they're back in there and they look alright. So, I'm just gonna leave them in there and get on out of here. Holy cow. That is frozen solid. Gonna have to work on that later today, I guess. Well, the chicks are all back underneath that piece of plywood. Doesn't look like this heater for this water worked, or at least kept it thawed. It's probably just because it was so cold that it couldn't. I think I'm gonna get a couple forks of hay for the cows in here. Well, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed kind of a boring video. It feels like all I really did was talk, but it's about 4 days later now since I last filmed. It was just so cold that I really don't want to have the camera out and have my fingers out and exposed in that weather, so I really didn't get much video. I was hoping that I would be able to get some of, the tractor pushing some snow and stuff like that, but obviously we didn't get enough snow to have to do any of that stuff. And like I said, it was just so stinking cold that I didn't want to film everything, so that's why I didn't. But I was able to get the pig's water thawed out. I ended up using our propane torch, and what happened is their heater ended up getting unplugged. I think whenever I was checking on the chickens Thursday night, I opened up the door and it pulled on the extension cord pretty hard and ended up unplugging the heater. So that's what happened with that, and that's why it was frozen. But like I said, I got it thawed out enough to where they all got some water, and obviously they're doing fine. So that's good. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and has a Happy New Year. One thing I guess I should mention is that I got a camera for Christmas, and I'm hoping that I can start using that to film my videos. Hopefully that brings you guys a little bit better quality videos, and obviously with that I'm going to have to start editing on a computer. I won't be able to edit with my phone anymore. So I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do that. That's going to be something that's kind of hard for me to do. But I think I'll be able to figure it out. If anyone has any advice for me on any of that, I'd appreciate that. I've already got some advice from a couple people that I watch. I'm hoping I can get a wireless mic, and hopefully that will cut down on some of the wind noise. And then obviously whenever I start editing with a computer, that'll open up quite a few options on what I can do with editing and stuff. So anything that you use, what your setup is, really the main thing that I'm worried about is figuring out how to edit the videos. I can figure out how to film and all that stuff, but I got to figure out, what app I can use. I'm afraid that my computer might not even work for what all I'm going to need to do. So just anything that you use, what editing apps, what computer, I'd appreciate all that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope to see you all again.